Welcome to Wellness Maricopa at MCC's Mindful Minutes. When you hear the word mindfulness, what comes to mind? Being more centered, reducing stress? With these podcasts, which you can find on the MCC's wellness webpage at www.mesacc.edu/employees/wellness-employees, you can explore ways to become more mindful and integrate them into your everyday life. Have fun exploring and stay mindful and well. For today's practice, Debbie Halexa will share with us a forgiveness meditation. Debbie.
Hi. Thank you all for being here once again. The practice that we'll be working with today, and when I say working with, we can even add the practice we'll be considering. You don't even have to do this. You can just set an intention to consider doing this, will be forgiveness. And for some people, forgiveness is a big F word. When we look at the idea of forgiveness, we also have to pair it with the idea of flaws. We begin by looking at our own flaws. I am a perfectly imperfect human being. I have flaws. We bring into that the awareness that there's a common humanity aspect. If I am perfectly imperfect with flaws, other people are perfectly imperfect with flaws. And so we can kind of soften the ground and till the soil by recognizing that we're flawed. Perfection doesn't exist. Perfection, as a matter of fact, is sometimes called the prescription for depression. So while perfection is not possible, transformation is, and forgiveness is one of those transformative practices. A couple of things about forgiveness. There can be a lot of resistance, kind of a hell no quality about it. I'm not going to forgive. They deserve my anger, rage, revenge. So we can simply see that. But forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for ourself. If we think of the wounds we have, like any wound that the skin on the body sustains, we get a wound, and when it heals, we get a scab. And slowly but surely, the scab will fall off. Scab is there for protection and for healing. But you would not want the scab to stay forever, because underneath we perhaps would get an infection. And so forgiveness is this practice of peeling the scar, allowing the scab to be peeled and removed, and perhaps we'll have a bit of a scar, but we will have healing as well. We can look to the great healers for inspiration. Gandhi said, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong." Nelson Mandela said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I did not leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be imprisoned." And Martin Luther King stated that forgiveness is not an occasional act, it's a constant attitude. So forgiveness is a practice that heals our own heart, helps us release the scabs from our wounds, helps us to be the most authentic version of ourselves. So this practice will be a threefold practice. It may bring up resistance, and if it does, simply notice that resistance is present. Offer an atmosphere of allowing and kindness towards that. And then remind yourself that you don't have to do this now. You can simply listen and consider that maybe someday. So we'll be offering forgiveness to three groups. We'll be offering forgiveness to someone who has hurt us, or we'll be considering offering to someone who's hurt us. We'll be considering offering forgiveness to ourselves for the harms we've done to ourselves. and we'll consider asking for forgiveness the harm that we have done to others. Keep in mind that none of this is done face-to-face or in person. The other person never need to know. We're just offering this to our own hearts. So we'll begin by finding a comfortable posture, one that's balanced with effort and ease. Deciding if the eyes will be postured completely closed or simply gazing softly downward and unfocused. And listening into the sound of the bell that will both open and close the practice. Begin by arriving into the place and space that your body is inhabiting. Arriving in the sense that the mind is with the body. Grounding oneself in the feet as they're planted on the floor. With the seat as it's being supported by an object. And then bringing attention to the breath. Breathing in, getting a sense of what that in-breath is like in this moment. And breathing out and sensing what the out-breath is like in this moment. Softening and settling through the mechanism of breathing. And because forgiveness is a heart practice, sometimes it can be helpful to simply touch into your own heart. If that helps and works for you, feel free. If not, that's okay. And because we are perfectly imperfect human beings, we may have caused others harm. And so we began our forgiveness practice by asking forgiveness for the harm that we have done to others in our states of confusion, if knowingly or unknowingly I have hurt or caused harm to you through words or actions. To the best of my abilities in this moment, I consider the possibility of asking for your forgiveness. If knowingly or unknowingly I have hurt or harmed you through words or actions, my own limitations and confusions, to the best of my ability in this moment, I consider asking for forgiveness. May it be so. And then turning our attention and our lens to the harms that have been done to us by another. We begin first by recognizing that all human beings are perfectly imperfect, are flawed, operate from places of confusion, just like I do. And so I consider the harm that has been done to me, and I consider the possibility of forgiveness. If knowingly or unknowingly I have been hurt or harmed by you through words and actions, and to the best of my abilities in this moment, I consider the possibility of forgiving you. If knowingly or unknowingly you have hurt or harmed me through unskillful use of words and actions, then to the best of my abilities in this moment, may I consider the possibility of forgiving you. Let it be so. Shifting our lens of attention one final time and looking honestly at what harms we may have done to ourselves. Harmful words, harmful deeds, may be done knowingly or unknowingly. I consider the possibility of forgiving myself. At times, I act from places of confusion. If knowingly or unknowingly I have hurt or harmed myself, to the best of my abilities in this moment, I consider forgiving myself. Sometimes I act from places of confusion. And if knowingly or unknowingly I have hurt or harmed myself through words, thoughts, actions, then to the best of my ability in this moment, I consider forgiving myself. Let it be so. And bringing attention to the felt sense in the body, allowing whatever is present to simply be. Reconnecting to the feet, reconnecting to the seat, and reconnecting to the life force of breath moving through. May it be so.